Okay, so I'm going to start from the bottom. Here we are with our cage. It's finally completed. This is a vent that we made on the bottom. We're actually going to put some more plants just to fill it up, make it look real nice. We're probably going to get some like marginatas, maybe a ficus tree, put it in there, but like a live one, you know, just to add some humidity to the cage. Although once you see when I get to the top, you'll see that we have not too much need for adding humidity by means of plants because, damn, this cage is tall. The cage itself is actually 8 feet high, so don't be surprised. Inside, the internal part of the cage, though, is approximately, there goes our little guys. That's Axel and Gamora. Gamora's on top, she's the female, and the male is on the bottom. That's their basking area. Obviously, we have to put another basking bulb. I just put that bulb in there for now, just for the heat, but we'll put a basking bulb so he can lay there also. We're going to add some more basking areas, but as you can see, that's where, in the back over there, is where our little wires come out for the thermostats and the hydrometer. There's our sprinkler head for the misting system. And then we have another one over here. You can see the nesting box. And our female actually knows how to go in and out. She's already acknowledged it. The back half of this cage, you can see, is the whole cage is made out of very thin veneer plywood. But then you can see from this half of the cage, we put cork. We glued cork. And then on this half of the cage, the entire wall has cork, including that beam that crosses. I covered it up in cork. It gives them something to climb on, because the regular plywood, they actually can't climb on it. I use these cross members here. These are like very large angles that are used to hang a shelf. I use them in order to hang up the nesting box, which is removable. We painted it so that they can get their privacy, but it's actually transparent, so we left the bottom transparent, so in the event that they lay eggs, we could see the eggs. My daughter did all the decorating with the plants. Very nice. She put all the vines and everything. She actually took her time, put all this tree system together, but we're not done yet. We did a plaster base with some rocks, and then we covered it with mulch, so this way it blends in real nice. And then she went and we drilled holes and put all this artificial plants into the holes with some hot glue. So it's still a work in progress. She's going to add more to it. And we got our ventilation system on top, which also has a very fine screen. Down in that corner over there, I don't know if you can see it, way in the back corner, there's another hose. That's our fogging system. So when we don't want to put the misting system on, we got the fogging system. Then we attached a little fungus shelf right here, which they've used already, and they actually climb on it. And we get a side view of the cage, and this way we're able to see the whole cage from the side. So we have one side window, and the front of the cage is fully open with glass. Sarah, can you remove the top so we can see what's on top? So we can see how we did the top of the cage. What we did is, on top of our cage, we have a panel which is removable, so this way we can access.
It's really strong now.
I know. This way we can access our fogging system, the lights. We have all the plugs and everything, and this way we don't have to access them through the rear. We can take them off right through the front. Everything's held together with magnets, so pretty cool. So that's our system there. We got only one latch, which is a latch right here. You can see the female. She's feeling good. She's walking around. We just introduced her to the cage right now because our room, this back room, is like kind of like a sunroom, and it's not very good with the heat. So we're trying to make it warm. And then last but not least, I have my, I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty dark over here right now. Is our Miss King system. This is the bucket we have, and the pump and everything is right here on the floor, which eventually I'm going to build a shelf that I can stand it up on, so it's not just on the floor. Maybe put it up on a nice stand or something, and then hide it with a plant in the room. Sorry for no lighting on the video. I didn't anticipate lighting it, but obviously my daughter's opening up the door here. and you can see we got a water dish on the bottom, and then
she's scared. She doesn't know what
little Gamora. She's over here. She's checking us out. She's watching us record her. Yeah. Uh-oh. Battery's going low. Gamora's hanging out. One concern I do have is the fact that the bulbs are in the cage like this. I don't have them protected by any kind of wiring or anything, so I get scared that she may try to get curious and climb up and grab onto the lighting, onto the bulbs. She's very curious. She hasn't eaten since we got her. We've had her over a month already. But there she goes. She's going. She's finding the nesting box. Let's see. She may go in. She's checking everything out. Yeah. Oh, she wants to go under it. Oh. She's very curious.
Yay.
Let's see how the wall does, because the back wall. Oh, she jumped.
She got one hand on it.
So
look at her tail.
She's grasping. She's obviously prehensile tail. Look at her. Look at her.
Oh my God.
Wow. She's swinging.
No.
Whoa. She's pretty cool. See how she can climb the cork, which is, it was actually very beneficial. So now she can climb the wall with no problem. Because if she did that on the other side of this cage, she wouldn't be able to do that. Maybe she'll go down and get some water. She may be thirsty.
She's wrapping
but obviously
around the vines.
She's very curious. Yeah, she uses her tail.
I know. I didn't do that vine.
That's okay. We'll finish it up.
I know.
She's checking everything out. She's like, hey, let me out.
She's like, why can't I get through? I can't see. Oh.
So we have a nice big sized water dish here. Fresh water. I have a reverse osmosis filtration system. That's what's going to be filling up our 5-gallon drum for the misting system. So okay, just close the cage. Let her do her thing.
Alright.
Should be alright.
I'm lazy.
Now we got to get back to putting this room back together so they can feel good. And that's it. Cage closes real nice. The door came out really nice.
Oh wow, look at her. I love her.
I don't know what she is. Oh, there she is.
She went on the floor.
She went down on the floor. So she's exploring the cage.
Oh.
What we did with the vents so that no little critters can come out. We have these vents here, but you really can't see because it's on the inside. But what we did with the vents is we put a fine window screen. Hi, Gamora.
She looks really green. Because she is really green.
I think she won't scratch up her nose anymore.
Yeah.
Being in the screen cage that she was in. Her nose can heal. So this is our enclosure for now. My daughter and I built it together. We used a lot of 2x2 lumber, 2x2 by 8 foot lumber. And we actually made the cage 8 feet high from floor to ceiling. But then the internal portion of the cage, the flooring, is actually 6 inches off the floor, so it's hollow underneath. I'm considering opening up the back of it and putting a shelf underneath in case I want to store stuff. Up there, she found the water dish. There she goes. She's drinking.
Oh,
all right.
Damn, they love this cage. I'm happy. I'm really happy right now.
So she's doing very well.
And we force feed her. She got sick, because then you make it seem like
she hasn't eaten since we gotten her, as I started saying before. I took them both to the vet because I bought them off of Underground Reptiles, which I'll probably never buy from them again. They shipped them very poorly. It was one of the coldest days we had. They shipped them with 1 heat pack for 2 large reptiles, and when they got to us, they were practically frozen. My daughter actually, warmed them up and brought them back to life, I should say. And
oh my God,
they
so
weren't eating from there on. They were just drinking water. And then the male, he came with us with a really bad mouth infection. They tried to tell us that happened while he was in our possession. Meanwhile, we only had him for 3 days and discovered that his mouth had a really nasty fungus. So we took him to the vet, and they treated him with antibiotics, and they actually injected both reptiles with some B12 supplements and everything, and then they gave us a 3-week supply of injections of antibiotics, and we had to inject them every 3 days with the antibiotics and force feed her every 3 days and force feed the male every 3 days because neither one of them were eating. We also had to flush out the male's mouth, and we had to give them both oral antibiotics on a daily basis. So it was daily oral and injections every 3 days. And it actually turned out well, where the female's actually bouncing back. She's very alert now. She just hasn't eaten on her own, though, so we're still force feeding her. No more antibiotics or anything. We hold her. We use a feeding tube and we force feed her. What's the name of the food that we give her?
Oxbow. Carnivore diet.
Carnivore diet by Oxbow.
They use it for birds, dogs, anything.
Yeah.
The dogs like it.
And the male is actually eating on his own. So I just purchased on eBay from a supplier from New Jersey. I was very impressed with them. They gave me about 430 small dubia roaches, and on top of that they gave me about 75 very large dubia roaches. I got medium size. So I got a nice colony that I set up. I threw them in a 10-gallon tank with some milk crates, and I'm hoping to start my own colony and let them continue breeding, so this way I don't have to keep purchasing from anyone and I'll have my own supply. But it appears to be that's their food that they're thriving on right now, so that's what's attracting his attention. He's eating some crickets here and there, but the food that really gets his attention is the dubia roaches. So that's what we're working with, and we have some really large ones in the males. I don't plan on using the females much because those are going to be for breeding purposes. I give him the medium-sized females, but all the large females they sent me, I'm keeping them so that I can use them as my breeders. As far as the male roaches, I can keep a few. They gave me like about 15, 20. I'll feed off of maybe about 10. But I also went to, what's the other one? Backwater Reptiles. Yeah. And I ordered a bunch of roaches. Unfortunately, they came to me all frozen and dead. They took too long for shipping, thanks to the United States Postal Service, who really sucks. I would never use the United States Postal Service. Okay. Unfortunately, they did. And by doing so, the roaches came to me instead of overnight or 2 days. They came to me in 4 days, which meant the heat packs were no good. They were useless. And the roaches ended up dying. So Backwater Reptiles was actually very nice. I explained to them everything. I sent them pictures of the roaches frozen, and they shipped out a new shipment today of 100 large roaches. So that'll be good because I could use those to sustain our male for now, while the ones that were shipped to me from the other eBay breeder from Jersey, I will use those as my breeding colony. And I just pick up a few roaches, crickets now and then.
She's like...
So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is our cage. I'm hoping maybe to post some pictures, maybe put a video together with the entire cage and all of its construction together, so you can get an idea of what it looks like pre-construction. Alright, enjoy everybody. Thank you for watching. Sorry for the glare on the window.